Hey there guys, welcome to another SimRail video. Today I just kind of wanted to go over the basics of ETCS, or European Train Control System. Now this released with the last big patch for the game that came out alongside the cargo pack with the ET22. So what's neat about this is it offers almost a full comprehensive run now in the Pendolino, or the ED250, which is the high-speed train that we are currently in here. So just a bit about the ETCS is it's a safety or train protection system, if you will, that was developed to fix the numerous incompatible and aging systems across Europe and its borders, basically, and beyond. So ETCS is a signaling and control of the Eurorail traffic management system. Now the equipment consists of trackside hardware, so stuff in the ground, and onboard equipment which kind of chat with one another, communicate to where the train is at in relation to the track or the signals, so on and so forth. So there are considered multiple levels of ETCS, although in SimRail the current need is for 2 within Poland as well. There's level 1 and level 2. Now level 1 is ETCS in place line side and on train and can be used with existing track signaling, whereas level 2 is a digital radio based system that can still use the trackside equipment passively if need be. Now the equipment communicates via a transponder type module on the train, and then there's also equipment on the ground that kind of responds and talks to that, as well as GSMR antenna, which is your standard kind of modern day radio up top. Now in Poland, level 1 ETCS was implemented back in 2011 on the high-speed line from Warsaw to Krakow. Level 2 was installed on the Warsaw-Gdańsk-Gdynia line, along with a few other lines. I think there's 2 other lines, one currently still being built, possibly. Another's one that runs kind of along, or right into the border of Germany. There's several, but I'm just talking within Poland currently. So in this, what's neat about ETCS is it's you know, think of it like PZB or AWS or ATC or you know, or something like that as far as other countries' safety and train control systems. So this is called, again, ETCS. That is what's within the game. I don't know if it works on any of the trains currently besides the ED250, the high-speed Pendolino, which we're currently in. But right here in this recording, I'm currently running in the standard, what's called SHP, which is just basically like a driver vigilance alarm that you have to clear. Now that has been in SimRail for quite a while, but then they recently did the big patch. That's when we got ETCS. So you can see on screen there, it's currently in SHP, and it should switch over in a moment to ETCS. So when there are no trackside you know, pieces of equipment to talk to the train and basically use ETCS, it will just use the redundant SHP. So see, there you can see on the screen now that ETCS has popped up, which shows up with all kinds of stuff. So you'll get all kinds of little things on there, neat little things that tell you what's coming up. Geez, it shows you when to blow the horn or the whistle, so whistle stops. It shows you where there's neutral sections. It shows you when there's just general messages like that right there that you basically just have to clear with the space bar or whatever key you have assigned, just like, you know, clearing the SHP vigilance alarm. And then most importantly, speeds. So there will be yellow lines across that blue bar on the center screen there, and when there's a kind of down arrow, it looks like a flag laying on its side pointing down, your speed is going to go down. You have to be on the lookout for that. When there's another one with an arrow pointing up, your speed is going to increase. Now I'd also like to point out, this is going to be a very, very, very brief kind of introduction to get you going with ETCS, because what's neat about this is it is now within your multiplayer servers. So if you run this thing in any multiplayer server, you know, considering where this train is on any given line that may have the equipment, it will be activated, which is pretty damn cool. Not only that, if you're not into multiplayer, they are also within the single player scenario. I have some recording of that as well, so you can use it now in single player. So that screen in the very center of the console there that you see with the speedometer and the little graph to the right of the speedo, that just used to be black. There was nothing there, if I recall correctly. And so they just recently, with this big patch, implemented this whole ETCS system, which is pretty in-depth, but don't let it be daunting. It's fairly easy to get going. If I can, you know, get it going and start using it, pretty much anybody can, I would imagine. But we'll go over that in a moment, live action. But this is just some shots of me running with it in multiplayer, having to deal with live, you know, dispatchers and, you know, problem with lines and things like that, and just seeing how it responds in a live action kind of scenario, and not just like a scripted single player scenario, if you catch my drift. So here I'm being slowed down. Basically the speeds are changing. You can see on the graph to the right of the speedo on the center screen again that the speed is going down. So what I was talking about with your speed going down is you'll see like a down arrow, which is essentially what is happening right there. But there's also two very nice training or tutorials for ETCS. So I have only personally done ETCS 1 so far. There's ETCS 2, which is digital radio, and not so much the older version, like which I guess is ETCS 1. So you can go and do those. A word of warning though is, since they are tutorials and the way they are set up, if you do anything incorrect, it will reset you and you'll have to do it all over again from the very beginning, because trust me, I've done it about 12 times already. So do explicitly what he says, what he's telling you to do, you know, to get you going to use this thing. But let's hop in live. I'll show you how to set the train up. So if you don't know how to set the train up, we'll go through that. The kind of good thing about that is if you want to use this via multiplayer, 9 times out of 10, or actually I think 10 times out of 10, it's already going to be running and it's already going to be set up. All you do is, you know, take control of the train and you're done. You're good to go. Now, regarding the system and using it, you will go between the standard SHP, which is like just your basic vigilance, which was already in the game, as I mentioned, and ETCS. So if there is a non-ETCS section, it will go ahead and downgrade you automatically back to the SHP, which is just a vigilance device. That is precisely what is going on here. So it slowed me down. There's the alarm. It's switched to straight SHP. As you can see, there is no graph on the right side of the center screen any longer. So we're currently just vigilance mode only. And it will go back and forth. A lot of times you'll start off a run in SHP, it'll go to ETCS, and then it'll go from ETCS to SHP, and vice versa, on and on. Now here, what's interesting about this little scenario that I'm in, this predicament currently, is it is going to stop me. So I have got, if I'm not mistaken, a red up ahead. Now, I'm still being dictated and controlled by the ETCS, which is on screen. And as you can see now, how the speedo and the kind of shield around the speedo turns yellow. That is your, forget the fancy name of it, that's like your braking grade, how it wants you to slow down. So you need to, you know, slow down with how that is lowering. So it's almost like LZB, part of the German rail system and the safety network, LZB, PZB, that whole thing. You have to slow down with what it's requiring, and it should get you slowed down enough to the next speed board or red signal, or what have you, whatever it's wanting you to slow down for. Now, if it's yellow, you're good. If it starts turning orange, you need to slow down quicker. If that little bar turns red, it will start braking for you. So it pretty much will not allow you to foul up too bad. And if it does, you can basically release the brakes if need be. And you don't have to go through some crazy, you know, lengthy process to release the brakes. You can hear it kind of chiming there at me again. I'm not slowing down enough. Let's see, I don't quite remember. Yeah, I think I continue to not brake how it wants. But it's basically stopping me at the red signal. So it literally will not allow you to pass a red signal when you are in ETCS. Alright then, folks, we are now back within the game. So if you want to learn how to do this, because I'm certain I'm not describing it quite as good as I think I am in my mind. You simply go to train driver, click on that, go to the Katowice Warsaw, click that, and then you have got you should have two scenarios here that you can mess with that are single player. Here they are, the EIP. So this is the Pendolino, Polish Pendolino ED250. So those are your single player scenarios. We'll hop in that, fire it up, get the ETCS going and all that. Just kind of like a quick, brief rundown of it all. But part of what they added in the big patch was this cool little test track here. So this is where you test and learn ETCS. So if you click on this, it gives you two training scenarios. Now, I have not done the second one yet. I've just done the first one. I believe they're going to be largely the same. It just uses different equipment. So basically, you can go through and do these, but like I said, do be warned. Listen to the guy doing the directing, because if you foul up at all, it will restart all over again. So let's go ahead and go back. We'll click on this. I do believe one of these starts cold and dark. And we'll fire it up. We'll go through the cold and dark procedure and then setting up the ETCS onboard safety system as well. Alright, so here we are, guys. This is one of the single player scenarios. So if you're not into multiplayer, this is your bag right here. You can hop in and do it single player. Plus, it's a good place to learn it. So that's what I did. I got in here and kind of learned it just so I wouldn't be holding people up in multiplayer. Etc. But this is the train, obviously, the lovely Pendolino ED250. So part of the system that talks with the ground equipment has sort of like a magnet or like a transponder, generally on the nose or near the bogie. I believe it's painted yellow. It might be that white piece right there, matter of fact. Maybe not. I may be talking out of my arse completely, but anywho, so that's what happens. So these things, if that's what they are, talk to transponders that will be within the track, and when we go over some, I'll point them out. But first things first, let's get in this bad boy and fire it up. So in the single player scenarios, as in the tutorials, you will need to know how to fire it up in the tutorial, because it doesn't really go over that. I don't think there's a training manual for just firing the thing up. So to get right in, you can go to the door and do the whole open thing and all that, or you can just hit the 1 key. So we are in the cab. We got to fire it up and get a radio check from dispatch. So the first thing you want to do is get out of the seat, go back here to the back wall, and turn on your battery. There we go. Some things should come to life up here on the dash. Very good. We'll get back in the seat with E. Now we got to activate the cab, pretty much like all trains or locomotives. This is your key right here to activate the cab. So you want to go to 1. There's the lovely high-pitched scream beep. You're going to want to clear that right off the bat. So that's the DSD, essentially. So we've got the cab activated. Now we raise the pantograph. So this middle toggle here, whether you want to do the front or back, I'll do the back. We're going to click that. And we're going to flip the control circuits button right here as well. Now, there are some lights that will illuminate and de-illuminate. Is that a word? So we have this green box over here on this screen that is lit. So it's got the pantograph. It's showing that it is on and up in the back. So I think we can go ahead and close our main circuit breaker, or it says here switch. So you're going to want to click the black one on, and then you can't really see it in this lighting, but you can see the main circuit breakers open on the top of that Christmas tree right there. So we'll go ahead and hit that, and it should fire up here in just a moment. Gotta give it a second. There we go. We got HVAC, fans, things like that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and throw our reverser forward. Your reverser key is over here. So it is now forward, and you're going to want to go ahead and set the brakes. So that's this sucker right here. We'll go ahead and set it to running because it has been disabled. So it's fully dumped. So you got to charge that puppy all the way up. I want to say it's like 5.4, 5.5 bar, something like that. Somewhere around there. So we've got the reverser and the brake set to run. If you have the parking brake set, that is going to be down here. So just to the right of your armrest, your right armrest. So we're going to disable that. So hold it up. I don't think it was enabled, but just in case, I like to do it anyway. And then something else you can do that makes this thing fairly easy to operate is you've got sort of a cruise control, and that's this over here. So it says currently our speed on the bottom right is going to be 40 coming out of here. So I'm going to go ahead and reset that and pump it up to 40. So I know it's kind of hard to see, but on this screen at the top left, you'll see that top left box up there with kind of a hand and a dial. That is your speed control speed. So I'm going to bump that up to 40. So that should hold us. And you got to be careful with this thing, because if you move it down too quick, it'll just disable it and reset it. So just be very, very gentle and tender when moving this thing, just so you don't reset it. And you know, you got a lot going on, one of those things, and you know, shit starts happening and in short order, you know, just one of those things. So you can go ahead and set that if you want. Now we need to go ahead and call dispatch. So your radio is over here. We're going to hit the ZEW3.
Katowice to 4500, radio check.
Lights should be on automatic. They are
Katowice.
indeed.
I read you loud and clear.
And if you need to know, you can set your lights automatic via here. So that's your light mode. That's the rear. So these are on auto. And then somewhere you've got your saloon lighting, or the coaches. Where is it? Brake test. Passenger compartment lighting. So it's that one there. I believe that should be on by default as well. But, hell. Go ahead and turn it on. There we go. I think it was on anyway. All right, let's get back in this very nice looking chair. So it says, thank you, wait for signal. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and pull forward. So we've got our cruise control set. We've got the brake pretty much released, I believe. Let's see if we can throttle up now. Sometimes this is a bit funky as well. Oh, wow, okay. So yeah, sometimes when you go to apply power, oh, I didn't do the ETCS bit yet. Total idiot. Total idiot. All right. Let's forget the last 10 seconds didn't happen. So do not go anywhere yet. Leave that on. Don't apply power. None of that. All right. So your ETCS, total dingus move. You're going to do all that and set all that up after you've got the initial cab setup going right here. So you're going to start with your driver ID. Now, it should be up here initially. I'm going to hit that delete key. I think it can be whatever you want. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And you literally hit the soft keys down on the bottom there and hit enter. Now, once you've got your driver number set up, select your ETCS level. So it's already kind of gone to that, as you can see. But I'll show you from the menu here in just a moment, because it's kind of rolling through it right now. So it's going to say select your level. So you've got 1, 2, 0, and SHP. So currently there is no ETCS out here. So we're going to start it in SHP. So that is selection 5. We're going to hit 5. It's going to pop up in the box there. Simply hit enter and acknowledge. So the acknowledge thing and how it turns yellow instead of the standard red from SHP, that is basically saying that it is ready to receive and transmit ETCS information for the safety system and the train control, if you will. So this is your main menu right here. So you've got the start driver ID. The driver ID, I hit that too. That's the 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, boom, boom. And then train data is what you're going to want to do next after driver ID. So hit the 3 key. And this is all automated, thankfully. I mean, it would be kind of cool if you got to put it in manually, but it just kind of ensures that you don't mess it up. So it's got it by default. It knows what you're in. It's one train set, obviously, of the ED250 or the Pendolino. So you literally just hit 1. There's only one option. It will fill the box up here on the top. Hit the enter key. And then you do the same down here. It says train data entry complete. You hit the 3 key, whatever's corresponding underneath the option. So that's the 3 key right under the yes. You hit that. We're going to hit yes again and then hit enter. So it should be set up. Now it's going to ask for your train running number. So that is your train service number, timetable number, whatever you want to call it. So we are currently, what is the train number? 4,500? Yes, we are 4,500. So you're going to put it in here. 4,500. There we go. That is it. So you do the train data. Level, we already chose that, but we'll show it anyway. We'll click 5 again. It's currently set to SHP. So we'll go ahead and back right out of that. And then that's pretty much all you need to know for the basics to get started. So you hit the little X key on the top right of the screen or the arrow next to it, and it'll go back to this screen because you will need to see this when it displays the track information up ahead. All right, we are away. So I've got the throttle applied. As you can see, I don't have it on the screen. I need it, so I'm going to hit the X there. And we currently have no track data before us. I've got my cruise control set currently at 40 km/h, which is what the track speed is. And you'll need to know that as well. So don't just pay attention to the ETCS, you know, the track speed and the track signage, I believe, will always take precedent. So you will still need to look at track signs for the most part, especially when ETCS runs out and you're back to basics, the SHP, which we are currently in right now. So first, this is a scenario, like I said, this is not multiplayer. I'm going to have to stop at this station. I believe these stops are like 6 minutes each. Even though we're late AF getting this thing started up. So I'll kind of jump ahead to right around where ETCS should begin. Alright, I hopped out of single player because it was taking way too long. You have to do 2 stops, and they're like 6 minutes a pop, and then you got to go several miles until you actually hit the ETCS section. So I hopped into a multiplayer server real quick to see if I can get the ETCS section real quick. So let's go ahead and take control of this puppy. It is now raining, which is pretty cool. I wasn't expecting this. That's what's neat about multiplayer, is it's dynamic, you know, weather, time of day, stuff like that. And then of course other people. So let's get those wipers on for starters. That ought to do it. Alright, and see if we can't get some ETCS up here. So it should start by default. Whenever you play multiplayer, pretty much everything should be set up, if I'm not mistaken, or it was earlier anyway. So our brake is in the running position, drive handle is off. We're currently set to a 40. I'm going to put the speed control at 40, just to kind of hold our hand. And we'll get moving. I don't like to give it the full beans right off the bat. I like to make it a little smoother, especially if, you know, there's some other people on board and things like that. You don't want to be jerking them around in their seats. But as you can see, we are leaving Warsaw, headed to Katowice, or no, not Katowice, Krakow. And we're currently set at a 40. So we generally, I think in Warsaw there's like 2 stops you'll stop with at this thing, and then it's just hauling ass all the way to Krakow, and vice versa, depending on the kind of run that you do. So hopefully we'll see some ETCS pop up momentarily. It looks like we have got a 90 now, so let's go ahead and bump this puppy up. But we'll go over some of the signage and signaling so you'll know that ETCS is about to begin. Like a lot of signs and signaling, as you'll see, you know, just like the speed board. So that's the 100 km/h speed board right there. You'll see ETCS signaling pop up, like a board that'll tell you when it's coming. So let me just open the timetable right quick. I don't think... Yeah, it's Gdynia, we just left there. So yeah, we don't have any other stops until we get to Krakow, I believe, whenever that happens. So we'll go ahead and close that. And something else that's pretty neat that you can do with this is, like right now it's raining, so I believe there's something you can do in here where you can change it to a slippery rail. Where is it at? Main, level done leading. Where's it at? Train data? No, that's not what I want. I swear I saw something earlier. Spec? Ah, here it is. Adhesion. Hit 1. It's currently set to non-slippery rail. We're going to set it to slippery rail because it be raining. We're going to hit enter. So that's going to affect the physics, if you will, the braking and the traction motors and things like that, which is pretty badass. I love SimRail. It's super in depth, and it can only keep, you know, going up, honestly. I mean, it's just Poland and it's just this stuff right now, but there is a lot to look forward to. Let's get back to the main menu now. And we've got a $1.20, so let's go ahead and throw that up to a $1.20. Oh, too much stank on it. There we go. 17, 18, 19, and 20. It will start speeding up on its own. So once we kind of get out of the city, or greater Warsaw, if you will, it should switch to ETCS. So we'll let it run here for a moment and see what happens, especially in the high-speed sections, because that's primarily what it was made for, is high-speed trains. So let's see if it starts. I feel like I remember it starting not too far outside. Hot damn, there it is. ETCS level 2. Alright, so it should start. It means it's going to begin, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I have to do anything inside the computer itself, because the only time you can do that is if you're stopped. So we'll keep on rolling. That one was yellow, right? So when you see a whiteboard, that's when it's official. And there it is. Boom. There goes the board. And there you see it on the screen. How cool is that? So this is your distance on the graph. The 1,500, 250, 125, and so forth. Those are the metric system, whatever that is. Imperial gang over here. Sorry. I guess that's what that is. But what's neat about it is if you're in a dense area like, you know, say Krakow or Warsaw, and you know there's going to be a lot of stuff coming at you, you can actually zoom that out a bit. 2,000 meters, 4,000 meters, 8,000 meters, 16,000. And it shows you everything that's coming up. So you can see that we have got a couple of no-stopping sections. We have got a neutral section, so it shows you where the neutral section starts and ends. And then you can see that yellow line as well. So that's about 4,000 meters away. Let's see if we can at least get to that and see what it does. Try and keep this as organic as possible. You're still going to have to acknowledge the ETCS and the SHP, so you'll have both yellow and red alerts. I'm going to zoom this back in just so it's not freaking me out and thinking I'm coming up on it really quick. I'll leave it at 4,000. So we've currently got it. We've got a speed of 160. So we'll bump this up again. And back down, 160, there it is. She should start hustling. You definitely still want to be looking at, you know, signals, you know, crossing boards, your whistle boards, horn boards, etc. Looks like our next drive-through is Pruszko, which that might be where the issue is. So there's a yellow line that I saw that might change depending on who's doing you know, dispatch and whatnot. That could change. It could have been a blocked up line that is now clear, who knows. But it's actually about 9,000 meters, it looks like. Might even be kilometers. I honestly do not know. Alright, there goes the neutral section. I don't believe you have to do anything for that. Ideally, I believe in real life, at least with the Pendolino, you have got to pull your throttle off. So you do not want to have the traction motors going. So in the very least, if you want to do it prototypically, you just bring the power off. You don't have the traction motors going. But I don't think it does anything in game currently, because I've rolled through a few and not had a single issue. I've restarted it myself with the neutral section button, and then, you know, made sure to close the MCB again just in case after pulling the power off. You know, and so forth. There's our ETCS. That's just a message. I honestly, not gonna lie, don't know what a lot of those mean. So it looks like there it showed whatever that little box was in yellow. It might have been a signal acknowledgement. It looks like AI is currently handling Pushko, which is the dispatch, next dispatch tower up here. So let's see what happens. We're still cruising at a cool and comfortable 160 kmh. I think the maximum you can do on this thing in this line in game is 200 kmh. So you can see that horn icon we just went past, and there goes the crossing signals there. They're the triangles. So 2 triangles mean you need to sound the horn if there's just one white upright triangle pointing up. I believe that means there's just a crossing, and you may not necessarily need to sound that. So let's just keep rolling up here with it and see if this is some sort of speed reduction that we're going to have to adhere to, or you know, it could just be ETCS giving way to SHP, because I do know, you know, from playing this quite a bit today, that you will kind of go through sections where it'll be ETCS or SHP. This is pretty nice though so far, because we're seeing quite a bit of traffic, which is very cool. Yeah, it says it's 10:30 in the morning. Okay. Yeah, so it's not going to be super duper busy like very early or very late, you know, like rush hour type stuff. Let's see if we're getting any closer to this. All right, so there it is. Yeah, it's still at about, so it's about 6,000 meters now. Now that down arrow looking thing in the 0, that means that ETCS either ends there and you have to go back to SHP, or that is a flat out red signal. Now the way a lot of this works is these towers, these dispatch towers, they will be red by default, like an interlocking, for example, and the dispatcher will have to clear that. This could be a case of that, where the dispatcher just has not cleared that yet, and it will change the closer we get to it. I kind of hope it's not. I kind of hope it is a red, but we're on time, and I think it's AI controlled, so I don't think we'll have any issues. But honestly, when it comes to multiplayer and SimRail, that's the beauty. That's the essence of it. It's the human, you know, frailty or faltering of operating, you know, whether it be a train or dispatching, and just keeping it fresh, like it's not AI scripted 100%. You don't know what's going to happen when you're playing multiplayer. It's and that's the beauty of this. That's why I like SimRail a lot. And after this recent patch and the big DLC, I've been playing quite a bit more of it. All right, we're getting closer. 2,000 meters is the board, and then the signal. So the board, I believe, is that yellow line, and then your signal is going to be that kind of flag-looking thing pointing down with the 0 next to it. But we'll see. We're going to be there shortly. It's got to be near Grodzisk Mezeviki. Not sure how you say that, but we'll give it a stab. So we should see the board here momentarily. And you're gonna have to be Johnny on the spot, quick trigger finger, if you need to brake or slow down or what have you. So you definitely need to be looking. You can't just be, you know, looking at the screen the whole time. All right, so we're gonna be slowed down. You see how that's turned yellow? So let's go ahead and throttle down. And we're going to apply brakes. So see how it's gone from yellow to orange to red? It's pissed. It's like, dude, you're going way too fast. You're going to blow through this red in 1.2 km. So I'm braking hard. All right, and we're coming off the brakes. Because guess what? The signal just changed. And we have some traffic. How cool. I wonder if there's anybody in here. I think a lot of this lobby is AI. Yeah, and anybody that's in here is pretty darn far. So that's actually pretty nice. So that was a red. The AI dispatch fixed it. As you can see, we do have 100 coming up. So we're already under 100. That's the signal here. about to, so the whole train has to pass through it. That's how it works. We're going to switch on to the middle track. And now we're at 100. That's the switch. That 100. You see the next arrow coming up? It's 160. That means we can speed back up. And then we have another 100. That's going to slow back down because we're most likely going to be switching again, because I think we get off of this line that we're currently on in just a moment. But it just kind of keeps going up and down. If it says a 0, that is most likely a red, and you really have to pay attention to that. So we'll go ahead and throw this back up to 160. It's already there. So let's give it some power. Got a nice container train here. Cool. Let's see what's pulling this. Little fella over there. I love those, the 57s. Those things are fun as hell to operate. Alright, we're doing $1.60, but we've got that 100 that we need to slow down to in less than 2,000 dragon. Very nice. Less than 2,000 meters. So we need to be aware of that. Now, of course, you've got kind of your cheat sheet, the HUD stuff on the side, the top right there. But you can keep an eye on that as well. So it's under 1,000 meters as well. So let's go ahead and pull this down. There it goes. See, it's pissed. It's pissed again. You got to stay on top of this. So I tried to control it with the cruise control because it will slow you down. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some air. And now we're going to release it. And it should start charging back up. There we go. Brake pipe's going back up to 5, over 5. And as you can see there, we're stuck at 100. And then it kind of goes back up here in just a moment, as you can see. We'll set it back to 100. There we go. We'll do it at 99. We'll give it some power. Here's the issue I run into sometimes. It's like the brakes cannot be applied. ETCS level 2, no more. That's what that sign was. So you need to acknowledge that. Space bar. Alright, we're grabbing power now, 160 kmh. Now it looks like we've got not only another neutral section, but we have got probably a red signal up ahead. Like I said, the way these interlocks work in these towers is they'll stay red for the most part, and they'll have to be changed to green. So it may look like that. You may not necessarily need to panic. Oh God, that's a red. I'm going to blast right through it. Just slow down. Go half speed. That's always, you know, the best way to do it. I know there's proper protocol, but at least go half speed when you get close to it. So if you do need to brake in time, you have plenty of time to stop. But that is a 0, and that is a yellow line. So that's very much most likely a red. But we can go 200 kmh now. So we're going to crank this puppy right the way up. Clear that vigilance. 200, there it is, and this thing does not take long at all to get up to speed. I do like the rain. This is pretty cool. I haven't seen weather in a minute. I feel like the last bit of weather I saw is it was snowing in game, because they've got seasons now, which is badass. But now, of course, I am kind of panicking because we're speeding up to 200 kmh, and we very much most likely have a red signal up ahead. So like I said, it's fairly simple. I think I'm over talking it like I generally do, but it kind of does stuff for you. You just have to aid it. You have to assist it. If you don't slow down in time, it will slow down for you. It's not the end of the world. You don't have to reset a bunch of systems to get back moving again. Now, the thing about that is if the ETCS does go off or shut off and it goes back to SHP, you're kind of on your own with that speed-wise. Now, you'll get the whole, you know, you're going too fast thing in the top left corner, taking your points away if you care about your points. But if you do go past a red, the way it's set up in game currently is it will just reset you at that signal, so you cannot cause mayhem and just kind of come in and troll in a multiplayer server. So SHP, you do need to watch out a lot more. ETCS, you know, it's chill mode. you know, it's a lot more in depth. It's a lot more stuff you're having to keep an eye on, but it's, you know, it just makes sure that you can't fail for the most part, which is kind of cool. But it adds a lot of depth to the game, which is really, really nice. You know, SimRail just every single patch SimRail's come out with has just been something really cool added to the game in itself. And you know, the cargo pack that just released, I highly recommend that. If you haven't seen that, that is a very, very nice pack. Comes with 2 new freight cars, some very cool physics within the tankers with like a sloshing simulation. You got some kind of coal gondolas or gravel gondolas, and the thing is huge and it's super powerful, and you can get some heavy trains with that thing, which I had the pleasure of having one so far, because you got to be Johnny on the spot when grabbing it from multiplayer when you can find it. But SimRail just keeps getting better. It's a small team with a very, very nice rail simulator versus, you know, look at the other guys, which is a massive over 100 people team, and they just keep releasing this same regurgitated crap time and time again at insane prices. So I will stand behind these guys through and through, as long as they keep putting out stuff like this, because especially with the ETCS, and I think why they implemented ETCS, if I'm honest, is because of the other European lines that are coming out. So there's ones going to Lodz, I think, and that should have ETCS as well. So I believe they're going to make it to where the system is there and it's in place. So when all these new routes come out in the future, months, years, what have you, it'll be ready, you know, just like PZB and LZB and stuff like that. Same kind of deal. So, yeah, SimRail is climbing the mountain. It's only getting better. And it looks incredible, too, and it runs incredible. I mean, it's, you know, I've got a fairly modest machine, and it's just smooth as butter. I'm on a multiplayer server right now, you know, with people. Every now and then you'll get a sort of a hiccup, but, you know, it's not that constant stutter like you get with some other so-called train simulator games. Alright, we got about 4,000 metric European units until we get to that next board. I know not what it will be. We should have a tease of what it should be in about 2,000 meters. Okay, never mind. It just disappeared. Yeah, it just disappeared. So that's exactly what it was, guys. It's the interlock. There goes our sister train going the other direction. It's basically the interlock up there. Just it stays red and it has to be cleared via dispatch, whether it's a person or AI. So on that note, I believe that is going to do it, guys. Just kind of wanted to go over the beauty of ETCS and using it in the game, because honestly, before, I didn't really like using the Pendolino all that much. It's a badass train. It sounds phenomenal. It feels excellent to operate. And it looks badass. I mean, it's a Pendolino, for Christ's sake, but it was kind of lacking something. It was just boring. You'd get out in these open stretches and just high speed and just hit the, you know, the DSD reset a couple times. And that was all you did. Now, with ETCS, you've got to pay attention. You've got multiple levels. It goes away from ETCS back to SHP. You know, why you got to worry about the other stuff you already had to worry about before that was implemented. So I think that's going to do it for now, guys. Hope you found this video somewhat helpful just to get you used to using ETCS. I probably did a lot of stuff wrong, you know, because I'm still new to this as well, still learning ETCS. But if you have any pointers, let them rip in the comments for myself and others to learn from. Let's try and help each other out and learn this ETCS system, and hopefully it's implemented on other trains that we get and other lines that come in the future for SimRail. But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.